I'm excited for this episode.
Me too. This is one I have been looking forward to the most because
same.
we can just go into detail,
Yeah.
answer all the questions that everybody has ever asked us on TikTok and Instagram. See, this is why I feel like a podcast is good, because no one wants to sit and watch a 10-minute TikTok video.
No, whereas people that click on a podcast, they know they're in for the long haul.
Yeah, someone might be walking their dog, grab a cup of tea, guys, get cozy. This is going to be a good one. And if you're watching on YouTube, which we do YouTube as well, so look at us over there, you can see us visually. We have on our
little hoodies,
our little Nail Tech Natters hoodies, courtesy of Liv's friend. What's she called?
Nick. Yes, Nick. She very kindly made us hoodies and mugs. I've got my mug here as well.
I've got one too.
So cute.
Nick's merching us up.
She is, which she can make us anything we want. So,
do you know, I get stickers for my car?
I actually had to buy 12 of these mugs.
Really?
She didn't brand obviously 12 of them. She just did 2, but I had to buy 12 of them because that's all I could get on Amazon.
Give over.
I was like, are you joking? So now I've got 10 black mugs.
At least you could have them for your salon.
Well, I was thinking, shall we maybe one day do a giveaway?
One day we could do a giveaway.
Yeah, we can give away mugs.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
wouldn't that be so cute?
Perfect. And a hoodie.
Yeah.
And a hoodie, buy a pack of 10 hoodies.
Yeah. Honestly. So yeah, I've now got 10 plain black mugs at home. That's
giveaway coming soon.
Yes. We'll do that one day.
Yeah. So, welcome to today's episode of Nail Tech Natters. I'm Shan, Nails by Shan on TikTok and Instagram, and I'm joined by Liv.
Just a little plug there.
Just check me out.
Yeah.
You plug yours, go on.
Okay, well, I'm Novaly Nails.
Novaly Nails.
Otherwise known as Olivia or Liv.
Yeah.
But this episode's going to be all about how we became nail techs. Yeah?
The whole process.
The whole process. We have some questions. But we'll probably just chat.
I was going to say, they'll probably come to us and we'll answer as we see fit.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
I feel like you go first.
Okay.
You do yours first, because I think yours is...
shorter
and probably what I feel like a lot of people will have probably done it your way as well, although a bit of both. You go first and then we'll follow from that. So how did you go for it? How did you get into nails? Tell us everything.
Okay, so I mentioned this a little bit in the first episode, but I'm just going to start from the beginning.
Go for it. Go for it.
16-year-old Olivia. We're going back. So when I was leaving high school and I wanted to go to college, well, I was actually the first year that you wouldn't have had to do this because you're a bit older than me. You're older than me, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 28.
Yeah. So I was the first year in school where you had to go on to education after past 16. Like, it was a requirement that you had to do an extra like a higher education.
Yes.
So I had no choice. I had to either do A-levels or go to college. And when I was deciding what I wanted to do, I went to my local college open day and I had every intention of doing beauty. That was what I was like going for. I went and looked at like the beauty department, and then I think it was as me and my mum were like walking out of the open day, like it was in like a, you know, in the centre of college, whatever, in like a hall. As we were leaving, we saw like the health and social care bit, and I was in two minds as to what I wanted to do. I was like, the sensible Olivia should probably go to college and then go to university.
We all have a sensible version of ourselves that is in another timeline. Like I'm probably like, let's be honest, Shan, not a doctor. But you know, something along the academic line. We've all got that other side of us that's like, what should I conform to?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that ended up winning. So basically, I went to college to do health and social care. It was a level 3 course because I did pretty well in my GCSEs, so I could go straight in and do level 3.
Yeah.
And as part of that course, I also was what they called an NHS cadet.
Slay.
You know,
she's a cadet.
So basically, that was volunteering. So it was a full-time course, so it was 3 days a week, and then the other 2 days a week, I volunteered in the hospital to get work experience.
Really?
And then obviously I worked part-time as well in a cafe, which was mainly just Saturdays, I think, and then it went to Saturdays and Sundays. So for that year, I was like pretty like solidly working like every day. God. And I'll be honest, the health and social care course was just not what I thought it was. I am not academically minded. I'm not good with school or
again, same hun.
Yeah. The coursework was a hell of a lot harder than I ever thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like a lot harder. I really, really struggled. It's very
intense, isn't it?
Yeah, I just didn't expect it to be as hard as it was. Anyway, so I did that year, and the support on my course was rubbish, like especially on the NHS side of things. So I was just like, I think I just was overworked, and I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And that was like probably a tiny little taster of what it would be like to be like a nurse or a midwife, because that's what I wanted to go on to do, was either nurse.
But it's annoying, isn't it, that you have to do like there's no taster.
No,
it's like you should get to start the course for the first 2 weeks. If you want to drop out of it, no strings attached, you can.
Yeah,
because how do you know if it's what you want to do if you haven't even tried it out yet?
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So I did that year. It was a 2-year course, it was supposed to be, and it was like, I think it was the last day of college. I was like, I'm not going back. Like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Like, it was obviously the end of the first year. I was supposed to go back in September, and I was like, I'm not going back.
No.
I told my mum, and she was like, are you sure? Like, it was a really hard course to get onto. There was only 12 of us on that course.
Wow.
Because of the NHS cadet side of it.
Oh my goodness.
Like, it was I remember the interview. Like, oh my God, I was shitting myself. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked.
No, this is what it's for.
I'm literally telling the whole story.
This is what it's for.
So, I decided to leave. I never really thought about nails much. Like,
it wasn't in your mind when you were looking at other options.
Yeah, like I wanted to do beauty to mainly do nails, because I did have a little bit of a passion for it. I loved painting my nails. I even bought like a little acrylic set. I did my acrylics at home, much to my
acrylics. Who is she?
I know, much to my mum's dismay. Oh,
really?
She hated the smell of it in the house.
Oh my goodness, that was me and Oliver when I thought I wanted to be an acrylic tech. I would practice, and he would walk in and he would literally be like, I'd be upstairs doing it in my salon. Shan, you doing acrylic, aren't you? I'm like, yeah. On a night, it affected our breathing.
Oh my God.
So much.
It's awful.
No matter what even if I practice with the window wide open and fans on, you can smell acrylic.
I know, it's horrible. So yeah, I'm not surprised my mum hated it. But that was when I was like 15, 16. I actually
it's when it was more popular as well, wasn't it, acrylic?
Yes,
like back then.
Definitely. I actually, on my Facebook memories, a picture popped up of the second attempt at acrylics I ever did when was it? I was 15. So I'll have to, if you're watching, I'll pop it up on the screen.
Yeah.
If I remember. So yeah, so I had like a little bit of a passion for it, but when I was at college, like doing the health and social care, didn't really think about it. It never entered my mind to go for the second year and do nails or beauty. I just didn't really think about it much since then.
It's not really given to us as an option, really, is it? Like, it's kind of in college and high school and whatever, they're pushing you to do all this academic stuff, but the arts or more creative stuff is kind of like,
You get told that you can't make a career out of it.
That's what happened to me.
And that's what gets in my head. Like,
well, it wasn't to do nails, it was to be a bridal
makeup artist.
No, a bridal gown shop owner.
Oh,
that was the first ever thing I wanted to do, was own a bridal dress shop.
Oh my God.
And I remember my career lady sat me down in her office and she was like, that won't be a career, you need to do something more academic.
That's rude.
Academic.
Screw her.
I know. And
if you're watching
look at me now.
So where was I at? So yeah, I never really gave it a second thought. I ended up, because I had to do another year of education, so I actually did a hospitality and catering apprenticeship at the cafe I worked at.
No, you didn't. Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was an apprenticeship that was even an option.
Honestly, it was just a cop out. Like, it was so easy.
Was it?
Yeah. So I worked in that cafe, and I mainly did front of house, but then when I did the hospitality and catering apprenticeship, I had to take more of a role in the kitchen.
Right.
So I really, really enjoyed that job.
Mm-hmm.
My boss, I didn't so much enjoy. She was not the nicest person.
Nope.
So I actually ended up working there for 4 years full time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I really
it's
got...
something that you think, I might not be here that long. And then
yes.
you kind of get... 4 years in the grand scheme of things isn't
that long.
A large amount of time, but it feels like it when you're in it.
Yes.
And you think I will never get out of here.
Literally. I was getting paid like £4 an hour. Yeah. Yeah. How ridiculous is
criminal.
That? I know. So, yeah, I was doing that for 4 years. I did really enjoy the job. Like, I enjoy cooking. I liked the job.
Yeah.
Just didn't like my boss. Anyway, I left. I had enough. I left. They offered me a pay rise and it was like £6.50 and I was like, you can go fuck yourself.
You're like, whoa, slow down.
Yeah.
We're at £6, reel it in.
Yeah, honestly.
How are you not living in Dubai right now?
I know, right? Seriously. Living the large life. So
dear God.
I got fed up with that. I left and I was actually a takeaway delivery driver for a little while.
I did not know any of this about you.
Yeah.
For what takeaways?
It was just a local takeaway, like a little
pizza?
Yeah.
Doner kebab?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was just a local little takeaway. It was before like Uber Eats and Just Eat was like a thing in my area. Well, Just Eat was, but not in the sense that they had their own drivers. Like, I worked for the takeaway. Anyway, this is besides the point.
Any of you are interested for working for takeaways?
I know. I'm just telling you my whole life story at this point.
I love it.
So I did that for a little bit. In that time, I'd met Harvey.
Yeah.
And then what did I do from there? I worked in... I'm trying to remember. So I worked in a care home and I worked community care, but I can't remember which way.
You have done so much.
I know.
Wow.
I don't know how. It feels like a lifetime ago. Yeah. Like I was a different person.
Yeah.
So I worked in a care home and I worked in community care, but I can't remember which way around I did it. I think I worked in a care home first. So I did that, I think, for about 8 or 9 months. It was just a tiny little care home. I think there was maybe like 20 patients in there. So it wasn't big.
Yeah.
But we still, like, there was just so many problems with understaffing. I used to work like 16-hour days. Like,
I think with things like care, there's always understaffing.
Oh my God, it's
constantly
awful.
Yeah.
Like, anyone that's a carer, I stand with you.
Wow.
Like, I
could never, but like, big fat slave for you guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
I loved the job. Like, loved it. Absolutely loved caring.
I can imagine
for people.
it being a very, like...
It's so rewarding.
Very rewarding in the fact that you really feel like you're proper making a difference to someone's life. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Especially in a care home.
Yeah.
I think some people go there and they think it's a job that's easy, so then when it's not easy, they get frustrated, and that's when you just see... And it's like, if it was someone's grandma, someone's granddad, someone's mum, dad, like, if there's someone, like...
I know.
And I think,
honestly.
hats off to those people, defo.
So I really enjoyed the job, but it was problems with like staffing and management. So I then went on to work community care. So that was like going to the houses and caring for them that way. I
bet that was more intense.
In some ways, yes, and in others, not. It was a very new company. In my area, and it was very disorganized. You could tell they were new and they were figuring things out. I was driving like sometimes 30 miles to go and see these clients. Like,
that's one of the things, and it is the travel.
Yeah. I wasn't getting paid enough either. Anyway, I got moved up really quickly from like just a team member to a team leader, because it was a new company. So like anyone they thought was doing anyone they thought was doing a good job, they wanted to like. That they wanted them to head a team, basically. Yeah. But I had 0 training for that role. Like, nothing. No support, nothing. And I overworked myself so much, and my anxiety just like was worse than it ever was. I remember I was driving in between clients and I just had a full-blown panic attack whilst I was driving. I had to like pull over and like, I think I rang Harvey. And I was just like sobbing, like I was like, I can't do this. Yeah. So I just left, and I think I was doing it for maybe like, again, 6 or 8 months, something like that. Yeah. And after I left, I think looking back in hindsight, I think I fell into a bit of a depression. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know where I was at.
Yeah. I think that is such a huge thing, is if you're a creative person and you are not in a career that you feel passionate about or you're able to be creative in, it literally affects you to everything in your life. Definitely. Everything. I think a lot of people, one of the most common things you hear is, I don't know what I want to do with my life, and the pressure of that when you're trying to figure it out as well. It's like, I'm literally trying my best and it's not working. Like, when am I going to get to the point where it's like, oh, there we go.
Exactly.
I thought that were really important to touch on.
No, definitely.
It can affect you so much.
Yeah. 100%. I'm trying to think how old I was at this point. So I'd met Harvey. I was probably about 20 at this point, I think.
Still very young then.
Yeah. So then, like I said, I wasn't in a good headspace. I ended up not getting a job after that for quite some time. I was very lucky in the sense that Harvey just financially supported us through that.
Yeah. That wasn't the pressure there as
much.
No,
absolutely not. And I wouldn't be where I was, like where I am now, if I had that pressure. Yeah. Like if I had somebody like breathing down my neck, like, you need to find a job, you need to figure out what you want to do. Yeah. So I'm very grateful to Harvey that he just like stuck with me through that.
What a king.
Yeah, what a king.
Shout out to you, Harvey.
Definitely. So, he financially supported us for, oh my God, it's embarrassing to say, but I think probably nearly 3 years.
I don't think it's embarrassing.
Yeah, well,
I think everybody literally has their own
story.
Yeah, their own way that it ended up like that. There's no right way and there's no wrong way. No. I think it's just a way. Like you managed to get to where you are now, and you know, I think that's a really important thing as well. Like, we're very lucky that we both have very supportive partners. However, I know there may be people listening who maybe don't have a partner, don't want a partner, or don't have anybody in their corner fighting for them. And I think that's probably, I'm like you, without support of people around me, I would not be here. Especially, I think if you're more of an anxious girly.
Yes.
I think that's a massive thing. So that's why we've both said we want to kind of create a little community, especially around this podcast, where people feel like
they don't feel alone. Yeah.
Because if you don't have anybody rooting for you, we can root for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's important.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be there in your corner, helping you. So about 3 years of being unemployed, didn't know what I wanted to do. I was a serial hobbyist. Just I tried needle felting,
hyper fixating on little things. Yeah.
What else did I do? Oh, so many things. I can't even remember. So I was also, I think part of the reason why I was struggling so much was because I was smoking weed.
Oh, really?
Every day. Yeah, it was not good.
Right.
Which really, I did not help. I mean, this podcast is not for that topic.
No.
But
yeah.
I wanted to mention it because, you know, there might be other people out there that are in the same situation. At the time, I didn't think it was affecting me, but looking back, 100% did. So this was all during lockdown.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Which I think really made a huge difference in a lot of people's lives in regards to career and how they want to work.
Yes, definitely. So I mentioned in the last episode that I'd bought some like little fake nails and some Beatles gel polishes and
little gel lamp.
Yeah, little cheap gel lamp. I remember actually when I was painting these little nails, I was like putting them in this little UV light, and I was like, why is it not working? Like, it's not curing it. And that's when I actually researched about UV lights and like how they worked and the strength of them.
So did you just get this little kit because it was another little hobby you thought you wanted to do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For yourself and like maybe on your sister and stuff?
It was literally just painting fake nails. Like, I didn't ever paint on myself.
Oh, so not on an actual person. It was just to be that little bit creative.
Yeah.
And I think as well, it's obvious that throughout your life, you had these little things where your creativity was like, hello, I'm here and you're pushing me down, but I'm going to keep coming back.
Definitely. Because in school, for my options, I took double art.
Did you?
Yeah, so that was a very large part of my life. Oh, Milo's got his toy.
He's like, I'm the main character, everybody.
You take that to your bed.
In your bed.
In your bed.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Take your elephant.
So, so creativity runs in my family as well. Like, everyone is very creative. So, where am I at? Yes, I bought fake nails, cheap gel polishes, was painting little nails, and then it was coming towards the end of lockdown. I remember because at college we had like screens and we still had to wear masks and aprons.
Wow.
So it was in like during that time where it was like things were slowly sort of going back to normal.
Yeah, but no one kind of knew where the normal and the COVID line.
Exactly.
Nah.
So I was looking at courses. I was originally going to do an online course, but then I was like, nah, this defeats the point. I need to get out of my comfort zone. I need to get out the house. Not just sit inside all
Cabin
day.
fever is real.
Yes.
See, but I'm such a home bird, so I love being at home. People are like, do you not get bored of being at home? I'm like, literally as soon as I leave, I'm like, I'm ready to go home now.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. But I just needed to build my confidence back up. I'd just lost who I was. So I knew that I needed to go to college. And the most obvious option was my local college. So that's where I went to do a nail course. It was I think it was called Level 2 Nail Services or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was a year course. There was only 8 of us on that course, I think. And my tutor, love her, Sandra. Shout out to Sandra.
Sandra Slay.
She comes to me to have her nails done.
Does she?
Yeah, which is like the highest compliment.
I bet she's so proud of that.
Yeah, she loves.
Wow.
She's actually asked me to go and do a little talk at college. Did I tell you this?
Has she? Oh wait, no, I think you mentioned it the other day. Are you gonna do it?
Yeah, I am.
That's exciting.
I'm nervous, but I'm gonna do it.
Push yourself out that comfort zone.
Yes, definitely. Won't be as bad as at the freaking panel at the Hona event. My God, that's a story for another day. So yeah, that was a year's course, and then it was getting to the end of that year. I loved the course. Yeah. It was really good. I learned so much. I did acrylic, hard gel, fiberglass. Have you ever done fiberglass?
Who's she?
Literally.
Sorry.
Who is she? Like. Yeah, so you know, like.
Wait, have Hona brought out a hard gel with fiberglass in it, or it's something like fiber?
Yes, but fiberglass nails is like. Have you ever seen a nail silk? Like
yes,
if you do a repair,
I use them sometimes. Yeah.
That is what you use. So you put a layer of that on. You put like glue on it, and then spray an activator spray and build it up.
Give over.
It's the worst nail treatment that you could ever do. It's awful. If anyone out there does good fiberglass nails, I want to see them.
Yeah.
Please.
I've seen where people maybe add on a corner. You know, if the clients had square nails and the corner chips.
It's really good for that.
See, I've never used that for that because I you know, when a party just thinks it's not going to be strong enough.
No, it does work.
Does it?
As long as you put as long as you do the fiberglass and then you put builder gel or hard gel
over
on top.
The top.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'll give that a go on someone.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely does work. But so yeah, they're the 3 things that I did at college. I learnt a lot, loved the course.
I would have loved to go to a nail college. I imagine it's like Hogwarts, but for nails. Like we'd all be in our own houses. Like that's the builder gel house.
No,
that's the acrylic.
It's not like that at all.
And I loved it every single day. I'm going to college to do nails.
No, but my college course, it was an adult course, obviously because I was 23.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Was I 23?
Class as an adult, even though we don't feel like it at that age.
Oh my God, no. So it was only 1 evening a week that I did it.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was literally 4 hours a week, 5 hours a week. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah, for a year. So really, if you condense that, you could probably get it done in like 3 weeks.
Yeah. But that's it though, and it's terrifying. Like I think the way that America kind of do their nails, how they train up with all the school and how they've got, I think they're slaying over there. Like I think becoming a nail tech in the UK is so way too easy.
Way too. We need to talk about that for another episode. Yeah. But yeah. So loved that course, and when I was coming to the end of it, they had talked about offering a level 3 course, which was advanced nail services. And I decided to do that. I did deliberate for a while, but I didn't feel like I'd gained as much confidence as I wanted to in my first course.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I stay on at college, I think that's going to actually motivate me to build my business as I'm at college again, if that makes sense. Because I didn't do much to build my business in that first year at all. I literally was going to college, learning nails, did it on my sister and myself, and that was pretty much it.
So you weren't promoting or offering
not really
beginner sets or anything like that?
I got my first client who was, shout out to Paula. She definitely won't be listening to this. But I knew Paula. So what is funny, because Jade, who I worked at the cafe with, Paula is Jade's mum.
Oh, okay.
So I knew of her. I met her before.
Yeah.
I knew like the whole family. So she was actually my first proper client outside of college. I had my models that I did at college, obviously, that then turned into my clients. But she was my first proper client, and I had her in July, so the month after I'd finished college.
Right.
And she was like the only client I had for a good while. I think a good maybe like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And then when I went back to do like my second course, my level 3 course, that's when I focused more about, like, that year was like building my business. So
taking it more seriously in a way. Yeah.
So the second course, the level 3 one, was a lot more about working on different types of nails. Like the criteria was really like weird, but you had to like find models that had certain things wrong with their nails so that you could show that you knew how to deal with things like contraindications and contractions. So it was a lot to do with that. So the knowledge I gained from that course helped me so much in my confidence with clients
in regards to that kind of thing. So did you have to find the clients, or did they provide them for you?
Bit of both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was if you can't find someone,
that like they would help you. Yeah. But there was only 3 of us on that course.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like there were like 15 of you signed. No. Oh, okay. That's a bit better then, isn't it?
Yeah, it was nice. So yeah, that's pretty much. Do you want? Shall I go further or?
Yeah, keep going. I'm in this.
I think you should start. I've been talking for a while.
Yeah, but then it's like you got to a good bit, so like you started getting clients.
So
and then,
and then
I can just do mine after Carter.
I'm trying to think where. So, I obviously finished college, that second course, in the June, and then it wasn't until the October. So this is a year and a bit after I finished my first course.
Yeah.
2 years after I started college. So like 2 years had gone by since I started college in the September.
That's long.
Yeah. That was when I really started to gain clients. It took me a long time. And that's definitely partly to do with the fact that I struggled to put myself out there.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it, isn't it?
Yeah. But it took me a long time to really gain traction and build up that client base. Like a long, long time. It was the October of that year that it started to really grow. And then that December, so the Christmas, was like the first time that I was having proper full weeks, like where it was like 3 or 4 clients a day for 5 days a week. So yeah, it took me a while, like a lot longer than people realise, I think.
I know, because I think people think that you open your doors, you're like, here you go, I'm doing nails, and then you get floods of people, when really half the people have probably already got like nail technicians. Half the people don't even, it's people finding you that's probably the hardest thing.
Definitely. And
people knowing you're there.
I was talking to you about before we started recording about the video that I posted that did really well, where I gained loads of followers.
Yeah.
And that was a lot to do with it. It's because I tagged my location on TikTok, like, you know, where you can like tag it where it comes up on your video. And I gained quite a few clients from that, because then my page that video did well, so then my page grew.
Yeah.
And then my content was getting pushed out to
people
local,
in your area and stuff. Yeah.
So
that's why it's always good, I think, to tag your location.
Absolutely.
Some people think, oh, it's an annoying little step, but it takes 2 seconds, and I think you can grow. You can
so much from
build clients from. A lot of people don't really. I think it's mixed reviews actually. I was listening to Nail Orders podcast recently, and they were talking about this and how they think that it's different opinions on whether you can gain clients from TikTok or whether it's better for Instagram. And Laura was saying she's seen like nail tech say I've gained clients from TikTok.
Oh, 1,000%.
And I think it is probably, I would say I do my Instagram, which we'll go into more social media stuff in another episode, but Instagram for me is like clients. That is where I am showing my best work. I want my clients to see that, and that's there. I put my appointment availability. TikTok is more for fun, brands.
Your nail techs.
Yeah, but then I do have people that are like, I've been following you on TikTok for ages, didn't realise you were just round the corner, can I book in?
Yeah, it's really like, and I think I've had a lot of clients that have said to me, I love your videos because I can see from your videos that you know what you're doing, and it gives me confidence that like if I come to you, my nails are going to look nice.
Yeah.
And
they also see your personality as well, so they don't feel as scared to come.
Yeah, definitely. I won't go too much into that, but I definitely think that helps. Like I think putting your personality, your face, your salon space, show that on social media, because clients will see it and they'll instantly feel more comfortable about coming to you.
Yeah.
Because they know what they're walking into. I don't know about you, but my anxiety skyrockets when something's an unknown.
Yeah.
When I'm walking into a situation and I don't know what I'm walking into.
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm gone. I'm running the other direction.
Though, because I do think some people are fine. Some people are so confident and they can just walk into a situation and be like, I'll take it for what it is when I see it. Whereas some girlies, like I think very similar to me and you, I once went for a back massage, and just because I didn't know where this woman did her back massage, she started leading me out into her back garden. She had a little hut in her back garden, and I was like, okay, slay, we love that for you, like your little room. But because I wasn't aware of that already, it did throw me off. I was like, I'm supposed to be here to relax, but I thought it would be upstairs in her bedroom. I just didn't, my brain just didn't think,
But you were like, are you taking me to the bottom of your garden to murder me?
Literally, I was like, will someone hear me scream? But then once I was fine, like obviously once I got into it and stuff, but it is the unknown. I think when people see, oh, she's in a salon, that's what it looks like, in her house, there's only her in there, like, you know, their partner is maybe at work or something, she's got a dog, like my clients see that I have Milo in the room with me, and
which is really important, because some people don't like dogs.
Exactly, I try and make it so aware that there's a dog with me, Milo, sorry, I will name him, he's not just dog. But yeah, I think that's a massive deal. So do you think that you saw an influx of clients then when you started showing more of yourself on social media?
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I was trying to create content. If you scroll way back on my TikTok, you can find my first videos.
I'm gonna do
very
that.
Embarrassing.
I'm gonna do that. When you go.
Please
don't.
You'll be scrolling for a while.
I know.
So I tried to create content that didn't have me in it. Just because I didn't have the confidence.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's easy to say now, but back then,
yeah,
it was probably when you first started, it's like, no one's gonna want to.
And you feel like, for some reason, you feel like every fucker in your life is gonna see your face on the internet, and that's not true.
That's something I've never struggled with, ever.
Really?
Yeah, but I'll probably touch on that when it's my turn to say it. But that is something, and I know it's so easy for me to say that, but I do think that is something that I'm actually like, wow, God didn't just make me an anxious ball of mess. I've never really struggled with what people think.
I love
so did you struggle with that then?
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. College helped, like, build my confidence, but yeah, I definitely used. It was. I don't know. I think maybe it's to do with like my experience at high school. Not to get too deep, but
get deep, dive deep. Got my goggles on. Go.
But I think like there was always this voice in my head like, what are people gonna say?
Yeah.
When nobody actually cares. And also I think a lot of it was to do with the fact that I'd put on a lot of weight since high school, and that really played into it for me. I think like part of me was embarrassed about it. I don't give a shit now. I don't care now, as you can probably tell. But yeah, it was definitely like that's something that played on my mind as well. But nobody cares. Literally nobody cares. Like, put yourself out there. Nobody's like, I've never once had a comment on my social media about my appearance.
There you go.
Never once.
Nope.
Nobody cares. Nobody's there to look at my face. People are there to look at what I'm doing.
I think what you don't realise is people are probably 99% of people are probably in awe of you and what you're doing, because I know that's exactly what honestly, that's exactly what I thought when I saw your stuff. I was like, oh my god, like, wow.
Yeah.
I was just so impressed.
Thanks.
And honestly, I think it's our own insecurities of little things we see that we're like, someone's going to say something about that, and then
no one cares.
No one cares.
No.
And if they do care, then that says more about them than it does about you.
Exactly.
I think if anyone's ever negative about somebody on social media, it is such a reflection of them. 100%. And instead of feeling bad about yourself, you should feel sorry for them.
Yeah. Definitely.
Is my personal opinion on it.
I 1,000% agree. But yeah, I definitely saw when I started just being like, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, I'm going to post my face. I'm going to be, you know, my voice is going to be in it. I don't care. Like, I definitely gained clientele from that. 100%.
Yeah.
And like, even on stories as well. Like, just...
Stories are so good.
They're really
on
good.
Instagram, like...
Definitely.
Don't use stories on TikTok.
No, I don't.
Don't really know what they're for. Confuses my little brain. Anyway.
I don't even look at stories on TikTok.
I don't. But Instagram is, like... I put up I had a cancellation and put it up straight away. Boom.
Bam,
the space went, and it's like, you don't think anyone's gonna do it, but then we were talking about it the other day, like I was saying I thought maybe 20 people see my Instagram stories. I don't really think anything about it, and like on this one day it was literally something so little and it was like 700 views, and didn't I voice noted you, and I was like, I've only ever been used to like little tiny group of people, but that's scary.
I know some days mine will get up to like 2,000 2,500 and I'm like
you're instantly just like, sorry, what?
Especially if it's like a because I sometimes do stories where I'm like just chatting.
Yeah. You got to switch it up a bit, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't do that often, but I do sometimes, and if they get a lot of views, I'm like, ugh.
I know, yeah. But it just shows.
I'm literally just chatting shit, like.
Yeah, it shows her, doesn't it, what makes a bigger difference and what does well. But definitely. We could maybe do that in an episode where we talk about our tips and trips. Hello,
tips and trips.
Where are we going? Scotland.
Tips and trips.
Let's go to Scotland to tell you our tips. But yeah, tips and tricks for social media. That would be very good, because I think we've both got a lot we could probably. Definitely talk about there.
Yeah, we could really dive in deep. Look at our analytics and everything.
Yeah, God, that's scary. Yeah. But yeah, so then you got some clients, and has it kind of just stayed at that for a little bit of time?
Yeah, so that was October of 2023 that I started to grow. Oh my God, how long has it been since I left college? I feel like... You know, when you think about that, and you think about how old you are, you're like,
It feels like a totally different time of your life, doesn't it? I don't even relate to that person anymore. A couple of years ago, it's like, who's she?
It's crazy, isn't it? So I think this September, it'll be 4 years since I started college.
Wow. That's crazy when you think... But like you say, if it was only one day... Because I think that's what's hard, is you're looking at your progress, but you were only really there, like you say, combine them all together, and it were maybe like...
3 weeks,
the amount of time you were there.
Yeah.
Realistically, you say to someone, I went to college 4 years ago, they think you've got 4 years of experience, and it's not that.
No, it's not that.
You've had maybe a couple of weeks of experience at college with all of those bound together, and that is no time at all, especially in nails, because you are constantly changing
100%.
and upping your skills and stuff.
Yeah.
So do you think maybe we should leave it there for you now? I'll talk about when I started, and then we can both say it now, because I do think it's so different. Beginner nail tech, we said this, didn't we?
Yeah.
Beginner nail tech compared to now, because it's two totally different people, totally different pieces of advice.
Yes.
So
you go for it. Tell us from the beginning.
Well,
I started from 16, so.
So when I came out the womb, but
I popped out a nail tech
with a file in hand. Sorry, Mum. But no, okay, so I think this is good, because my experience, let me get my microphone sorted, polar opposite to yours, polar opposite. So
which is crazy,
but I think it's good, because there might be someone listening that has different perspective. Exactly. So it's all a little bit of a mush. Like I say in the last episode, I always knew I wanted to be creative. I've always painted, I've always done this like creative kind of stuff. Started off doing face paint on TikTok, but this is when TikTok first became a thing. Like, was it lockdown? Was it 2020?
So how old are we?
I'm 28.
How old were you? Where were we starting?
I don't actually know. So this is the thing about me. I don't know my ages of certain things that happened in my life. I'm not good at like pinpointing when things happen. So if you asked me how old I was when I started nails, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. It's gone.
Okay. So it was a few years ago.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure it was in lockdown. Whenever TikTok first became big, which
like
I do
5
think it
years
was.
Ago. Yeah.
I did face painting, and it did quite well. But I was like, social media alone, doing videos specifically for TikTok, and this is when I did tutorials on Instagram as well, it was not for me. I started it and I was like, this is not the vibe I am wanting to do. I don't want to be just purely social media. At the time, I didn't want to do that 24/7. Again, no confidence. I was a little bit a little fish in a big pond. Everyone was doing makeup, everyone was doing face paint, like it was the thing, and I was seen, but not to the extent of where I could make a career out of it.
And you didn't want to do that. You didn't want to make money from social media in that way.
Exactly.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and you couldn't really make money back then. It was TikTok there was no creator fund, there was no TikTok shop, there was nothing. So I could make not a dime. It probably, if it was anything, was brand deals. Yeah. But at this point, it was fighting to be brand deal. I was on like Makeup Revolution. I was on their PR list, so I got a lot of makeup sent from them, but I wasn't getting paid for anything. So at this time as well, I was working part-time at a nursery. So I worked at the nursery for 8 years. And again, I struggle with like timings and ages of when I was.
Is that from when you were 18?
I feel like it may be a little bit younger.
Really?
Yeah, I want to let's just ballpark 17. Let's just say 17.
So did you go to college to do?
So I was, I've just like kind of not really started from the beginning. Just because I don't really think, like, I don't know, to me it's not like a big deal. But basically, high school, again, like you, it wasn't really a big thing for me. I got all the grades I needed to get or whatever. Went to a sixth form. Yeah. And I did art, sociology, psychology and business.
Wow.
Yeah, that
is a good variation.
It opened a lot of doors. Yeah. Whatever I want to do, we're going for it.
And your job right now encompasses all three of those things.
Yeah, but it's so funny because I actually ended up dropping business the first year I was there.
Oh,
so
really?
Going into the second year, you could drop a thing, and it was way too much. And I only did psychology and sociology because I wanted to impress my parents. I wanted to look like, to be honest, if I'm being completely honest, I wanted to impress people. What are you going to uni for? Psychology. Ooh, look at her, she's fancy. No, I wasn't.
She's a smart girl.
She's a smarty party, but I really wasn't at. To be continued. Anyway, so I loved doing art at sixth form. However, it was a lot of theory and not as much practical. And my teacher actually said to me, if it was practical, Shan, you'd do great. Yeah. But your theory is rubbish, when you have to do all the writing, reading. I just wasn't into that. I just wanted to paint. I just wanted to be creative. So then didn't enjoy art because of that reason.
I was exactly the same as you, like the theory side of it.
Honestly, it just blagged my absolute head.
And it seemed like that was the thing that they were most bothered about.
That is the thing that they were only bothered about. This is what I mean when I say that schools, colleges, it's all done so wrong. Yeah, it's all done so wrong. If you are a creative person, that is probably why it takes us so long to figure out what we want to do, because the system is not set up for us. No. The system is set up for somebody who wants to be a doctor, a lawyer, all that sort of stuff. Like, you crack on. Yeah. But I want to be an arty farty. I want to do all that sort of stuff. Arty farty. So, art wasn't a massive fan because it was mainly theory. Yeah. Psychology and sociology, are you alright in Ed? Why were I there? I found it so interesting. Yeah. To this day, that's why I talk a lot about mental health. I love the way the mind works. I think it is all so, there's just so many things you can look into with like mental health, and I think you'd be okay with me saying we've both suffered with our mental health over the years, and it's something that is so huge that I just think isn't spoken about enough. And anyway, so
I think it's something that everybody deals with, literally everybody.
It is, but it's seen as almost like, oh god, another one with anxiety, another one with depression, another one this and that. But
I mean, I think like it's important that you don't let it rule your life.
100%. It's finding that balance of, I am aware of it and I know how to manage it. Yes. But I'm not going to let it be my personality, and I'm not going to let it drag me down.
100%. Yeah. It's like when I talked about like when I was unemployed and I was like a bit depressed, I didn't recognise then that I was depressed. No. It's only like looking back that I think that was depression. Like I was
self-medicating
definitely...
and...
Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, psychology and sociology, don't get me wrong, so interesting.
Yeah.
Not the kind of work. I did not want to go home and revise in any way, shape or form. I wanted to go home, and if I had to do any work for college, sixth form, sorry, it would be, I want to paint, I want to do my art. But again, couldn't get that from the art side because they didn't care about that. Yeah. So I had psychology and sociology, and then I had business. Business I was interested in, but I ended up dropping that, which in hindsight I probably should have kept that out of all of them, but I ended up dropping it because it just again wasn't for me. So then I went to leave college, and from my side of things, so I lived with my mum and stepdad, and I don't have a relationship with either of them anymore, which I'm absolutely fine about, like, talking about. Yeah. I don't have a relationship with my mum. And so, yeah, I had no support, really. Yeah. I saw all my friends going off to uni open days and figuring out what they wanted to do with support. Mm-hmm. I had no support, really. I had my dad, but my dad did not realise that the house I was living in was the house I was living in. So he kind of thought everything was okay. And my mum and dad were divorced, by the way. So I didn't have any support really at all. I couldn't go to any open days, and I just felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to. At this point, I was, me and Oliver pretty much as I left sixth form, me and Oliver started a relationship. And again, like you say with Harvey, Oliver is a very big supporter and a very big supporter. So I kind of spoke to him a little bit about it, and I got into university for psychology. Ooh. Scraped the barrel, may I just say.
I bet you didn't.
I got E's in psychology and sociology, which is, back then, I don't know how it is now, but that is the lowest level of a pass you can get. So I just scraped it, which is still bad, but at least I passed, you know.
Yeah.
Slay. So
you still got in.
Still got in.
A win's a win.
Exactly. At least I can say I didn't fail at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I I remember it clear as day. I had got into uni and I had accepted the offer. And I went to my mum into the kitchen this one day, and she was like, "Well, do you know what you're gonna do?" And I'm like, No. And in my head, Shannon, still I remember it clear as day. I said to my mum, "What do you think I should do?" And she literally was like, "If you're doing it to impress me, or if you're doing it for me, I don't care." Oh. Yeah, she was literally like, my mum pretty much didn't really care, to be honest. So I was like...
Oh, so she didn't say it in like a supportive way. It was like I don't give a shit.
No, yeah.
Oh.
My mum's very, very much narcissistic behaviour. So
okay.
It was pretty much she didn't really care. So I felt very alone.
That's rude.
Yeah, I know. God. So anyway, yeah, I was like, okay, so if the only reason I want to do psychology is to show the people around me that I'm doing something that is socially acceptable as a good job, why am I doing it? Why am I going to get into this debt? Yeah. And at this point, obviously, like I say, I was in a relationship with Oliver, and Oliver's mum and dad own a chain of nurseries. And his mum, over family tea one day, was like, to be honest, Oliver's mum stepped in as the mum figure in my life.
She took that role.
She really did. And she that. Literally, so I didn't have support from that side, but I had a lot of support from Oliver's family, and she was just like, if you don't know what you want to do, we've just opened a new nursery, we need workers, do you want to come and just do an apprenticeship at nursery and kind of get a qualification as I was going. So at this point I was like, no idea what I want to do, I'll take a gap year. So I rang the uni and I was like, taking a gap year, huns, see you in a year. And that gap year basically turned into an 8-year gap year. So put it this way, the university definitely realised I wasn't coming, but and then worked in the nursery and back up to the point where then I started doing TikTok alongside of it because I knew I wanted to be creative.
Yeah.
I knew basically from day one I didn't want to do childcare as a career. It was good for now, but it was not for me.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I can imagine, as amazing as that job probably was, I can also imagine how difficult it was.
Oh God, so mentally draining.
Yeah. Like, and what we do now is mentally draining, but it's different with children.
And as well, it can be mentally draining parts of it, but when you're passionate about it and you're loving what you're doing,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Whereas this job, like, as grateful as I am for it, I just knew it wasn't what I wanted to do in the future.
It was a stopgap.
It was.
Oh, the camera's gone. Sorry about that. We had to take a little moment because the camera died and Shan went for a wee.
I needed the wee-wees.
So, where were we left off? Do you want to carry on?
Then, so went to, did did TikTok alongside of nursery, and like I say, that definitely went from it being what I wanted to do, and I was like, I can't make this as a career just from TikTok at the time, so I was like, I need to make what I'm doing on TikTok into a career.
Yes.
So I started looking at like like theatre makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
Because at the time as well, it was so difficult because I had so many people in my ear saying, you're so talented with it, you can't not do it, it'd be a waste if you didn't do a career with this. And the pressure of that, where it's like, okay, but I can't make a career of it with TikTok and what I'm doing at the minute, so I'm gonna have to make a career of it some other how. So I started Googling that literally the only other way was by doing theatre makeup.
Right.
But at this time, me and Oliver just got our new house, so bought this house, and
you bought this house together?
Yeah.
How old?
We were quite young, to be fair.
Again. That's so good.
We've been in here 6 years in April.
Oh my gosh.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was 22.
Oh wow.
So we got this house.
That's amazing.
And when I googled it, it was, you've got to move around with a company, so you've got to go to different theatres and go to school a long time for it. And I was like, I'm not a travelling girly. Very much, as me and Liv speak about a lot, my dream destination is Scotland, and I've already been there, so like life goal achieved. And I'm just not a fan of travelling and being away from home. I love being at home, and I thought, we've just bought a house that needs a mortgage paying, and I think we just got Milo as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't just up and leave. I can't just be going on all these places. And I also messaged a few girls, and I was like, you've been to makeup college kind of thing, what is it? And they were like, it's not kind of what it says on the tin, there's a lot of other things. So I was like, I don't want to do that. I'll just be anxious. At this point, I was so scared of my own shadow, like everything, every small little thing. So then I was like, can't do that. Tried to be bridal makeup artist, glam makeup artist. Makeup just was not the thing. And so I eventually stopped doing makeup, but I still had so many people in my life being like, I can't believe you've stopped makeup. What a talent wasted, all this stuff. Not in a nasty way.
No, they were trying to be supportive.
Yeah, supportive, but it just put that added pressure that I really just did not need. And then it made me feel bad about myself because I thought, I've got a talent that people are telling me I've got, and I'm not using it.
Yeah, but like, if something's not right for you, it's not right for you.
Exactly.
And you know better than anybody that it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. But at the time, I also didn't have the self-confidence to say no to people.
Yeah.
And to know what I truly wanted to do. And I think that was it as well, because I also didn't know what I wanted to do. It added even more pressure. I was like, well, this is a way I could go. But I don't necessarily want to go that way, but it's the only way I can go.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so anyway, flash forward, I started working, I was still working at the nursery, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of accepted for a little bit of time that I wasn't going to do anything else. I really honestly thought at one point in my life, I am going to be stuck at this nursery when I am 50. And I'm going to look after children for the rest of my life.
Really?
Nothing against children. I've got nothing against children. But it just wasn't the career for me. And I was just so... at one point, like, I definitely self-medicated with alcohol.
Yeah.
I was,
when you're not
addicted.
Happy, though, that's what you do.
You self-medicate to shut your brain up.
Yeah, of course you do.
So I, turned to alcohol a lot. Thankfully, that is a very healthy relationship now with alcohol and everything.
I would like to say I don't smoke weed anymore.
She's having a joint when she gets home, guys.
I would like to put that out there. I quit 2 years ago, actually.
Slay.
Cold turkey.
We love that for you.
Yeah.
You are slay. But yeah, I think, like you say, it's hard when you are so miserable in your day-to-day life. You go home and you do what takes you away from being miserable.
You're escaping your reality, aren't you?
And for a lot of people, that's... alcohol, smoking, drugs, like whatever. I think it is shown a lot more in people who are creative because you have got this creativity in you that wants to come out, but you don't know how to let it out.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
So you like literally trying to stop yourself. But so I then started the makeup business, which failed miserably. I started up a makeup business, and
what was it called?
Imagine Makeup. So it was like imagination, but Imagine Makeup.
Oh, that's so cute. Imagine Makeup.
Yeah, and I based it around creative makeup because I thought there's a gap in the market. And I'm not gonna lie, it was sick.
Was it?
The makeup brand I created was amazing. It was all circus themed. So the packaging tape was a circus ticket, and it was so extravagant.
Yeah.
But the amount of money I put into that business and it failed was...
Oh, no.
But it failed because of me. It didn't fail because of anything else.
It wasn't because it was shit. It was because you just didn't...
As soon as I finished creating all the exciting things, all the branding, all the fun things, and I realised it was social media again. Yeah. All I had to do was keep doing videos of using my products, showing how they have to be used. It was so much. I closed up in a shell and just was like, can't do it. And that literally, I don't know what happened. I just slowly stopped doing it. And again, I had people in my life, how's your makeup business going? It was constant reminders of all these little things that I'd failed at. And I just was like...
Part of you feels embarrassed as well, doesn't it?
Like, oh, God, yeah.
The amount of times I have felt embarrassed because I've given something up it's so many. Like, I can't even count how many times I've felt that.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Like, it doesn't matter.
Oliver said to me, I brought it up not long ago, and he said... Yeah, but without Imagine Makeup, you wouldn't have realised, okay, I've tried everything in makeup and I've tried doing a brand. You would constantly wonder what if you hadn't have given it a go.
1,000%.
Yeah, and so he said that is a stepping stone to what you've done now. So it's like, even if you think you're failing at something, it's just one step closer to what you need to be. And you might need that failure. You might need to... Everybody needs to see failure in their life, I think.
Definitely.
To be able to give you that push, to be like, no, I'm going to do this. But having the push after a failure is... the hardest thing ever.
It's so hard.
You have to get yourself back up and be like, and we're going again. And at this point I felt like I had tried so many things. I was just like, my God, someone tell me what I need to do. Just put it on a piece of paper and hand it to me and be like, here you go.
Literally.
So yeah, then I was just at nursery and I was like, this is where I'm going to be at for the rest of my life, so I might as well get used to it. And I really did try. I tried my hardest to love that job. And I just did not love it. No. I just tried and people at the job could see it. They could see the love and the attention to detail I had slowly go again, because I'd put the creativity into like the activities for the children, setting up sand play, all this stuff. But honestly, I was just like, oh my God, it's the same thing day in, day out. And I was just so drained. And I think especially when you're such a career focused person that I 1000% am, it drained me even more. Yeah. So yeah, and then I remember I was actually on a university website and I was just scrolling through the courses they offer because I thought I might as well get some inspo of what jobs I could do. And beauty came up and I thought, well, beauty makeup, but what else can I paint? Like, I've tried face and I was like, nails. So I looked into a nail course and one came up online and I had it in the basket because it was quite an expensive course. It was literally only a 3-day course, but it was an expensive course.
Was it online or in person?
It was in person because, again, I was like, I'm not doing a course online for this. It needs to be in person if I want to do it properly. Yeah. But again, the self-confidence was not there for me to do a course in person on my own. So anyway, it turned out that I went to work one day and I was talking to one of the girls. I was very close with her at work. We were like work besties. Yeah. And I was like, oh, what are you doing? Like, you know, next weekend or whatever. And she literally was like, well, I've actually been looking at this course. And funnily enough, it was the exact course I had in my basket at home.
Had you ever talked about nails before?
Never really, no. And she was like, I'm just going to do this course. And I was like, what? So that was literally, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is. No. Because I thought, if I don't do it now, when I've got a friend who I could travel with, go with. Because me, it was in middle of, I think it was like Leeds or other side of Leeds, which is far for me. So I was literally like, wow, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. No. So I did. I bought it that night and we went together and we carpooled together and it was so lovely and it was so nice.
Do you remember how much it was?
No.
No.
I could probably find out, but I don't remember how much it was. But
Did you pay for it outright?
No, credit card.
Credit card.
So
sorry if that was invasive.
No, ask away. And that's what I've got all of my nail stuff on.
On your credit card?
All nail stuff on a credit card, because it's expensive setting up.
It is really expensive.
It's spenny. So then she went on that course. I joined her, and I think once you've done the course is a really good thing to wait for. I'm not going to launch my business yet because I've got my course. I'm not going to try advertise yet because I've got my course. And it was such a good way to push away things that I didn't want to do yet, which was get the clients. That's the scariest part. And once the course was over, I was like, what now? Not now. And I thought, all I'm going to do is practice. So I practiced on family. I practiced on friends.
Wait, so the course was only 3 days?
3 days. It was one day was gel manicures and pedicures and like massaging and doing like proper spa like level stuff.
Yeah, luxury manicure.
Yeah. 2 was acrylic. 3 was gel, all things gel, so like gel extensions, builder gel, which builder gel was not a thing when I started doing it. It was starting to maybe become a thing. Yeah. But it was not a big thing. It was more gel extensions.
Yeah, like when I first started, the only brand that I knew of that did builder gel was the gel bottle by AB.
Yeah.
There was some others out there then, but it was like not a lot.
No. And each day it was funny because I went into that course thinking I am going to be the nail tech you see that does extra long acrylic extensions with jazzy nail art. And when I tell you I am the opposite of that now. I'm the opposite. Don't get me wrong, we love the jazzy nail art, but I am builder gel girly.
Oh, 1,000%.
But again, like it was with what you were saying about the college stuff, you don't know if you want to do it until you try it, but then guess what? You've spent the money. Too late. I don't care if you like acrylic, Shannon. You've paid for it and it's all like you trained in it, but thankfully the gel covered everything else. So
they're all transferable skills though.
They are.
The things that you learn like when you're doing acrylics or like fiberglass, like even fiberglass, like it's all transferable.
Yeah.
It's all skills that you can use.
Yeah.
And it's like you're never gonna know unless you try anyway.
Exactly.
Like,
and I do honestly think as well with the acrylic, it's not against. I'm not saying we're not saying on this podcast that we're against acrylics at all. We both can't do it.
Yeah.
So the acrylic I practiced it a couple of times. The smell gave me the worst headache.
Yep.
I even tried to get unscented monomer.
That's exactly what I did. I had to stop.
Yeah. And again, it was probably giving up on trying to do the acrylic because it's hard. Any nail tech out there that is good at acrylic, I don't think people realise how high of a skill it is to do acrylic.
A mega skill. Like
honestly,
if you are an acrylic nail technician, like how?
Yeah.
Because I could not do it.
Builder gel's intricate.
Yes.
But I think acrylic, you've got that dry. With Biab, you can literally sit and move it around.
Exactly.
It only hardens as soon as you put it in the lamp.
Yeah.
Acrylic, you are working against time.
Yes.
You're like, I've got time for this acrylic to set, and it needs to be perfect when it's set.
And it's like knowing like what type of bead you need for different like zones of the nail.
Yeah.
It's like building up the apex properly if the nails are longer. Like it's a whole skill, and anyone that does like acrylic nail art with different coloured acrylics, and oh my god,
it's another world, isn't it?
It's crazy.
And you know what, it is kind of sad that is a dying thing, because I know people associate acrylics with bad nail high street shops, and it's sad that acrylic is seen to be a negative thing almost now.
Yeah.
That I have clients that I'd never go back to acrylic. Yeah. It's like it's not the product that's damaged your nails. It's I mean, don't get me wrong, if you've picked off your acrylics, that's probably a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah.
But it's also how it is applied and the person prepping the nail and thingy in it. So when they're saying, if you go to a very talented acrylic nail artist, you would have the most beautiful set of nails.
Oh yeah.
But it's also not trending anymore.
No, it's not. I think there is still so many people out there that probably don't even know about builder gel and still get acrylics.
100%, yeah.
They probably don't even know that it's possible to grow your nails like.
No. Well, funnily enough, on my course, I remember the last day, the educator, because we all got like quite good friends. I still follow one of the girls from my course now, and we were talking, and one of the main things the educator said to us, she was like, if I could give you one piece of advice for you to leave this room with, is don't invest in the gel bottle. She was like, this is when allergies were first, first starting. And
I wonder if we did our courses like at similar times then, because
possibly
it was the same for me. Like my college tutor, she was so clued up on like ingredients and SDS sheets and all of that sort of stuff. Like she knew everything there was to know about it. And
if I quickly look on my Instagram, I'll be able to tell you from that highlight when I did my
tell me.
When I did my course. So I went on my course May 2022.
So what are we, 2025?
So 2022 is the year that I actually fully started building the business. So Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah, but only became full-time a year ago.
Yeah, so we were doing it at similar times then.
That's great. Which kind of makes sense, though, because to say that we're both at where we are now.
Yeah, we're both at similar points in our career, I would say.
Yeah, you've got more followers, but I think...
That doesn't mean anything, though, does it?
It means she's better than me.
Says the one that didn't follow me for
I know,
ages.
literally. Oh my god, who is she? But yeah, so yeah, all that literally did the nail course, and then
So you didn't invest in the gel bottle?
No, I didn't. No,
I did.
Only from
I'll tell
her.
you that in a minute.
Did you? Yeah, only from her saying that, and we were all like, "Why?" It was the biggest brand.
Yeah.
Going if you were a nail technician, you use the gel bottle.
Yeah.
You use what is it, Dolly Biab.
Yeah.
You use Dolly Biab, which I can tell when a nail
Teddy.
technician use it. Teddy
was my favourite. Yeah.
So yeah, she was like, "Duh," and I said to her why, and she said, a news article has come out about it that it's causing allergies.
I remember that article.
I googled it, and there was one article, and that was it. You Google it now.
Oh my god, yeah.
Wormhole.
Yeah.
It was literally one article, and that was it.
It was BBC. It was a BBC article, wasn't it? Was it? That's why it went so big, was because... And I think it was even on the news.
It was at one point, because I remember... honestly, I believe everything happens for a reason. Yes. And if I was a nail technician when all this started, I'm telling you now, I would, like a full-on nail technician, I would not be a nail technician right now.
Do you not think so?
No, it would have all been way too overwhelming. Yeah. Way too overwhelming for me. I think I would have overthought, but that's personal, like, you know, my own head. Yes. That would have killed me off. Yeah. So yeah, I was very lucky in a way when I started being a nail tech, and that I will forever be thankful to that educator at the course.
Yes.
If anyone cares, the course is NTC courses. It just stands for nail technician courses.
That must have been one I was looking at doing, I think.
Yeah, it was
that rings a bell.
I mean, again, they may have changed their courses to include more builder gel now and stuff, but everything changes. Like, I haven't really looked in, and there was support afterwards, which was a group chat that all of the nail technicians that were in the room that I trained with doing it, and we all kind of stayed in touch in the group chat. But I won't lie, the educator, it took her a long time to get back to us if any of us did have questions. But one good thing is that they offered free retraining days, so if you felt like you didn't get enough out of it, you could go back for a free day.
That's really good.
And I nearly took her up on it for the acrylic, but then I just thought, sack it in, Shan, acrylic's not for you, babes. So I didn't invest in gel bottle, did invest in Glossify, which is basically the same thing but just not under that. So thankfully not a lot. I had 3 builder gels in Glossify, and that was it.
Well, that's good.
Everything else was like other brands. But yeah, and then I literally moved on to starting to get clients. I went to work in a salon.
Did you? I didn't know this, did I?
Oh yeah, that didn't last very long. Not a salon girly, let's just say that.
Me neither.
Nothing against like the people there. I just didn't vibe there at all. It was salon environment was not for me.
No.
And then Oliver's mum came to me for her nails doing, and she was like, at the salon, she said, "I can tell you don't like it here. Why don't you use the outhouse that's in the garden?" But the whole reason I went to a salon is A, so I could prove to myself that I could do it on my own, and B, to build and gain clients. I didn't get a single client from that salon. They were all people that came to me who I knew, family, friends of friends, word of mouth. It just kind of started growing. So then I went to Amanda's little outhouse. I sacked in the salon. I was like, not for me, see you later. Went to work in Amanda's little outhouse that was in her garden, and if anyone remembers me in that era, it were adorable. It was a gorgeous little hut, but it just didn't end up working out. So then moved into my home salon upstairs in my little spare bedroom, which I actually, funnily enough, thought was going to be the end of my nail career. I thought this is either going to go really well or really bad, and I just thought,
really, why?
I just thought no one's going to want to come to my spare room. I thought, why? I don't know. And from going from what my little hut was to that was so upsetting, because it was perfect. But anyway, I just didn't like the thought of it. I thought being at home, like, my main concern was, will Oliver be okay with that? Will Milo be okay with that? Strangers coming in and out. Thankfully, again, Oliver, most supportive guy ever, was like, go for it. Do what you need to do. Milo, again, supportive king. He loves having people here, like, loves it.
He's a stan.
Yeah, he's literally. We need to get him a little Nail Tech Natters.
Oh my god, yeah.
A little hoodie. But yeah, so then I did it from my spare room, and little did I know that is what would literally skyrocket my business.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So what I thought wasn't going to work out and was going to be the end was probably the beginning, because I had to move in January, and February I handed in my notice at my full-time job.
My god. And that was a year ago, wasn't it?
That was a year ago on on the 10th I think it was, maybe, or the 8th of Feb.
Yeah.
So yeah, a year ago, literally just gone. And wow, that person who handed in her notice is not the gal here right now in any way. But yeah, I feel like that's where we've kind of got up to the same same point.
It's funny, like, you talking about how you worked in a salon and then you had a hut, because I knew so when I was at college, there was a lot of emphasis on, like, Sandra was telling me, like, you know, you really need to sort of go and work in a salon because it's going to gain you clients and it's going to gain you experience.
It's the right thing to do. Yeah.
And I was adamant. I was like, nope. The reason I've done this is because I want to work for myself, by myself, at home.
So do you think that is one thing you knew you always wanted, was to work for yourself?
Absolutely.
Whereas I kind of did, and then it got to a point where I worked at the nursery and I was like, wow, I need to be my own boss, because I just knew I was not good being managed by other people in the
wasn't
slightest.
At all.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone is. I don't think anyone
thinks I want someone to tell me what to do.
No.
I want someone to tell me.
I don't know, actually. Maybe some people do.
I have some friends that are like, I would be happy going and sitting behind a desk and doing 9 to 5 and then going home. Some people just don't have that drive. But this is why I think it's so specific, what we're talking about for nail technicians or anyone in the beauty industry, is because you clearly want to be your own boss. Yeah. You clearly have that career drive.
And you have to want it, because it takes a lot of determination and hard work.
Yeah.
To get
like,
to where you are.
People are so different. Like, my sister, for starters, I'm sure she won't mind me saying, shout out to Lauren. Me and my sister say all the time how polar opposite we are. Yeah. My sister's currently pregnant, and she's about to have, like, the first grandbaby of our family. Yeah. And her entire thing is around family. She's such a loving, caring person. She wants her own little family. She wants to be a full-time mum. She wants that life of her husband coming home, and she says she wants to cook and clean for him, and they're going to live their little homey life. Love that for her. Whereas I am polar opposite. I'm not that bothered about that sort of stuff, and I would rather focus on my career. Yes. I'm not bothered about else, really, right now.
Right now, yeah. That'll change.
That probably will change. Oh, trust me. The amount of questions.
She's already got a maternity pot.
Oh, my maternity pot. It's currently got nothing in it, but it's fine. We're just starting it from this month, so I'm excited. Yeah, already. I made a car one this morning. I made a car pot. I was like, there we go.
Oh, I love that.
I know, I love it. I love my little pots. But yeah, I think that if you are a career-driven person, all these things will kind of make sense and matter.
Yeah. Definitely.
About being your own boss and caring what if people are telling you what to do. Whereas if you're a person that's fine going to work and you're fine not having that pressure, then you go, girl. But I think people don't realise. I think people become a nail tech because it's easy, in quotations, if you're watching on YouTube. Like, it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. I think there's definitely a misconception. Yeah. For sure. Like we've said, most nail technicians are their own bosses. Yeah. Like, that's just how it is, because it's one of the only ways that you can make enough money from it. If you work for somebody else, you're never going to make enough money to live.
The rent, like, because there's different options, isn't there? There's you can work in a salon and be employed, which is what I was at when I was at that salon, which I do think was a huge impact of how it made me feel, because no matter how much money I technically earned from my services, I still left with the same money. Yeah, it was still a set amount of money that I would leave that salon with, no matter what I brought in that day.
Which I can imagine was really disheartening.
Yeah, it was. And they also, like, it was very much, it felt like I knew I wanted to be a nail technician, but they had me doing makeup, and as we are aware, I have such a bad... No, I'd say not as much now. I don't have a bad relationship with makeup now. I have started loving doing it on myself again. However, I would never want to touch another person's face with makeup ever again, which some people
PTSD.
find, PTSD, like, I got enough of that, like, let's add that onto it. But it's like, I hate it. I really hate it. So, yeah, I think that if you want to become your own boss with this, it's so good, but there's so many different ways you can go about it. Like, you can be your own boss but still work in a salon with renting a chair.
Yes.
Renting a chair these days is so expensive. I think I've heard that there can be like anything from £500 to £600 a month in some places.
Yeah, because a lot of it works differently for some people, doesn't it? Like, some people pay commission, so they'll pay the salon owner will get a percentage of what you make.
Yeah.
Or you do it like from day rate, so you'll pay for like the day that you're in that salon using that desk.
Yeah.
Or it's like monthly, where you're like paying a monthly fee.
Yeah.
And
so many different ways it can be done. Which is, I had a question actually in my Instagram DMs the other day, and it was a girl saying how she's going from a salon but she wants to work for herself, but she only has a spare room, and she doesn't want people to see that because she doesn't think it's luxurious. And I literally was like, people having private salons in their spare rooms now, or a hut in the garden, which is the goal I've got, is what is new now. That is what people want. People don't want to go as much. People don't want to go to salons as much. You are seeing a lot more people wanting the private side of things. Yeah, and it's not to say if you do work in a salon that it's a bad thing. If it works for you, great. But obviously our experiences are, I have always worked on my own with nails. Yeah, definitely. I think, like, obviously if you're somebody that likes to be always around people, I would say like work in a salon, because that's the sort of environment you're in. You're always around other people. You've got co-workers to lean on, to talk to, which I personally see in a negative way, but I can see why a lot of people would see that in a positive way. But if you want to be your own boss, I would work at home if you can. Me too. Like, if you can have your own space, have your own space. Which, like, is, you know, if you've got the space for that, great. Yeah. But if you're listening and you haven't got a spare room at all, and you can do it anyway. Like, if you want to be mobile. Yeah. It's definitely. It's so different for everyone, and there's so many ways it can work out. You have just got to find the way that works out best for you, so you are confident, you're comfortable, but you're also providing a good service that people will want to come back to. And also, like, remember that everyone starts somewhere. Like, when I was leaving college and I was figured out that I definitely wanted to open my salon in my spare room. Yeah. That's where I wanted to do it. I literally had, my desk was a piece of plywood, and with some legs on it, and that was it. I still had a bed in there, like a spare bed. Yeah. And it was literally that, 2 chairs, that was it. Yeah, but the thing is, someone will look at your salon, like your video where you did, I think it's pinned to your TikTok, and it's like your salon now. Someone will look at that who is just starting and be like, if I don't have a salon like that, no one will want to come to me, and I won't be successful. Not true. But you didn't start like that, and that's what people don't see. Is I was the same. I started off literally like with a tiny little desk, one little nail lamp, and a few gel colours. But you've got to start it to build it up, and I think that might be a good subject for us to talk about, is taking the leap to start. Yeah, definitely. I think, like, also it's good to remember that you, like, starting from the bottom is always the best, because you don't, basically what I'm trying to say is, you don't want to spend too much money when you're starting out, because if you do that, you're going to end up spending even more money in the long run. 1000%. Like, if I would have bought a really nice desk when I first started, and I would have, like, I've wasted so much money on things that have not worked out in my salon, whether that be furniture, whether it be products, whether it be whatever it is. I have wasted so much money. Yeah, but I think that's why it's good, why people want to see our TikToks. Yeah. Because me and you, well, not just me and you, loads of people on Nail TikTok, of course, they try out things for people. Like, for example, my little detail paint series I'm doing now. Yes, I even say in one of the videos, like, I'm doing it to save other people money, so you don't have to, like, it's, we do it for people, or we're sharing our experience so other people can see that and not maybe make the same mistakes we did and spend money. Like, I racked up a £1,500 credit card debt with everything I bought for my salon, and I was like, how am I going to get this down? Great. Thankfully, she's down now. She's gone. She's left us. But
she's left the chat.
She has never come back, honey. No. But it is such a spiral, and I think if I can give advice to someone is, don't feel like you have to spend all this money. Spend it wisely. People are saying to me, nail order, I really want to start with them, but it's so expensive, and how do I start? They've brought out little things like the Lumi Spark instead of the big lamp. I know it is still it's a purchase, it's a big purchase, but being a nail tech, there's big purchases. You can't get round buying a cheap lamp because you will, then it'll chase you, trust me. But like, making these smaller things where it's like, okay, you might want the Lumi lamp, but for now, maybe just buy the Lumi Spark instead to get you going. And then, like, for the first year, all the money I earned through doing nails went straight back into the business. People even say to me now, after my Monzo Pot video, which I'm going to do a separate video on, so what do you pay yourself in a wage? I don't have a wage.
No.
I literally, the money comes in from my clients, it goes into, the majority of it goes into my tap pot. Yeah. And then the rest, I literally divide into all my other pots.
Yeah.
And I might buy myself something every now and again that I need, but majority of what I earn goes back into my business, and I will continue doing that probably for the next 2 to 3 years until I feel like I've got enough savings, I've got enough things in different places. But you don't need to buy all the expensive posh stuff that you think you need.
No, definitely not. I think, like, the most important thing is buying a good quality lamp. You have to have a good quality lamp. That is one thing that you absolutely should not scrape on. But everything else, do it small. You know, like, if you're buying gel polishers, everyone's saying this at the moment, but buy with the seasons.
1000%.
Buy your white, buy your black, buy your red, buy your pink, and buy your blue.
Yeah.
But other than that, buy with the seasons.
Yes.
Like, it's just been Valentine's Day, maybe stock up on like 2 more reds, 2 more pinks.
Yeah.
It's going to come into spring, stock up on your pastels, and then we're going to move into summer. You can get
neons,
your neons.
brights, yeah.
And just do it as the year goes on. You don't need to buy them all at once. No. Like, please don't.
Like, my glitters don't get used.
No.
Unless it's Christmas. I have loads of flashback glitters.
Yeah.
And they don't get used like around Christmas. It just completely, I nearly had to buy another bottle of the black sparkle because it ran out towards the end of December. And then, has anyone asked for it since? No, and nobody will want black sparkly nails when we're going into hopefully spring, summertime. But I would probably say, starting out, lamp, not to scrape on like you've said, and your builder gels. You don't need 10 colours of builder gels.
No.
The amount of clients I have that when we do a circ off and I show them the options of what I have, they're like, oh, I've never been given options before. Clients don't expect them to have options of builder gel. I'd say get a nude and get a pink and you're laughing. You don't need that. And then with your gel colours, I mean, I know we both kind of use different brands, but from my perspective, I've always used Nail Order, and with Nail Order's gel colours, you can use these for nail art as well, so you don't need to splash on detail paints when you're first growing your kit.
Yeah, and it's the same with Hona's detail paints, is you can use them as full cover colours as well as nail art.
Yeah.
So I would go either or, like either Nail Order's gel polishes, which are incredible, or Hona's detail paints. Yeah. Hona's gel polishes, their new formula is really good.
Oh, have they got new formula?
I really annoyingly bought a lot of my gel colours before they reformulated.
I didn't know they were reformulating.
Yeah, it was since their Rodeo Nights one. No, the one before that, the spring collection, was the first reformulation they did.
Milo, in your bed?
In your bed, mate. Good boy. He wants to get in on the action.
In your bed. Good boy.
So yeah, I would say like their gel polishes now are pretty good, but they have been not the best.
I'm gonna say I've tried them in the past very sparingly.
Yeah.
And I but then again, I think because I've got Nail Order from like literally since they launched the gel polishers, and that's kind of the only gel polish brand I've ever used, so I've never felt the need to try anymore.
No, yeah.
And I probably never will. I probably will always stick with Nail Order now. But yeah, I think even like things, going back to what we're saying about what to prioritise, even your desk and your chairs don't have to be big. I have still got the same client chair, and my chair is still the same when I first started, and I desperately need new ones. But that is what I am going to invest in this year, because I have invested in the things that matter, like the gel colours and the builder gels. And if you want to offer hard gel, like if you're a nail tech and you're first starting, you don't even technically need hard gel right now until you find a client that needs it. Go in with builder gels and gel polish, and then get, like you say, 2 shades of builder gel. Start off like that, like Liv said, get your base colours of what you need for the season, and then after that you can, if you find a client that needs hard gel, okay, I'll make a hard gel order, but buy one colour. Like you could buy nail orders hard gel in hot,
whatever, I don't know.
And then
I don't know how you say it.
And then that's it. That's all you need. I think people see everybody else as who's been a self-employed nail tech for years and years, and they see all this beautiful salon. No one started out like that. No one clicked their fingers and started out with a salon looking like that.
Grow your salon as you grow, because if you don't do it that way, like when I first started out, I was very lucky in that my sister had, my older sister, she'd done a gel polish course at one point, so she had a lot of gel polishes from the Gel Bottle and a couple of different brands, and she gave me all of those. She was like, you can have these if you do my nails. I was like, that's fine.
It's a win-win situation.
So I did, because I had some gel polish, the Gel Bottle gel colours, I then bought more, and I bought more of their builder gels, and I must have probably spent about $1,000 in total, I would say, on the Gel Bottle, and then swiftly did a 180 and was like, we're going HEMA free.
We're changing. We're changing her up.
I did waste a lot of money.
It's hard, that in it. That again, that could be a whole episode that we talk about, just that.
Could.
But so say we've both, you've done your course, we've got a little bit of a kit, we're ready to start getting clients. How did we both kind of go from there? Because I feel like that is so different to the starting point. So
I don't know.
Mine was all word of mouth. I had my kit and I was like, wow. But you know what? I think that starting and getting clients, starting to get clients, is the scariest part, because you are the person that's going to be like, now we're becoming available to people. No one's going to come and say to you, right, you're starting to take clients from tomorrow. Everyone pushes it like, I'll start advertising next week. You will be surprised how little interest you get. You might get the odd person who wants a cheaper set of nails. But I also think in with that, don't price yourself low too much when you're starting out, because you will then attract clients that only want cheap nails.
I think it's a difficult one with that, because it's a real balance between charging what your skills are worth, which in the beginning usually isn't a very lot. It isn't a very lot.
I knew what you meant. I knew what came out your mouth.
And also like not putting yourself in a box. But you know, along with what you were saying, you've got to remember that it only takes one person to want an appointment, and it can just grow from there.
It's like a tree. I describe it as the client growing tree. Like you have one client that comes that's one branch, and then they recommend one person, but that one person that then comes from that person recommends 2. And then those 2 people both recommend one person, and it is literally a spiral. And that is why I think it is so good that you are just welcoming, and you make the client feel relaxed, and
it says a lot. Like, gaining clients from word of mouth is a massive compliment. Huge. So is that how you grew your clientele mainly? Because I didn't.
So. I would say so. But it's so funny because, like, when I first started to practice on people, it was family and friends and all them kind of people, and then it was those family and friends that maybe recommended a family member, and then that family member kept cutting, you know, again, like we say, it's Spirals. Like the spiral. But I actually have no family and no friends that come to me now, like none at all. I have one friend, and then the rest. It's weird because I have family and friends who don't really care about getting the nails done. I have friends that work in emergency services, can't get them done. And it's just not a priority for them right now. And it's so funny because, like, you think that your family and friends are going to be your biggest supporters, and they're not.
No, I know. It's funny,
not in an offensive way.
No, it's just not. it's just not the way it works. Yeah. Like, that's not how it is.
So then
they'll support you in different ways.
Yeah, like I ended up doing then family and friends.
Yeah.
And I still do a lot of family and friends and their family and all like that. But yeah, mine was word of mouth. And then I'd say probably now I'm like set up full time. Now it is just, I might post on Facebook for, you know, the community group. I've got spaces and I'll get someone from there. But a lot of it is still family and friends. So word of mouth is probably how my business grew so much.
See, mine was mainly social media.
Was it?
Yeah, like I gained most of my clientele through putting myself out there online. Yeah. Now I mainly only accept clients through word of mouth. I don't like to accept strangers as much anymore.
Yeah, when I get the odd stranger where I'm like, I literally have no idea who you are. I can't find you on Instagram.
No mutuals.
Yeah, I'm like, they will be getting a text. Hi, it's Nails by Shan. These are my please read my policies, and I need a deposit, because it's so scary sometimes, because you'll get the odd one that's just literally a like bad client who doesn't no-shows you or cancels. Or
we'll do a whole episode.
Oh, that'll be a whole episode.
Do we want to do a couple
of these questions?
It's been an hour and 30, so we'll do like maybe one question.
Yeah, and then, you know, I was thinking, because our next episode is all about confidence, self-motivation, all that kind of thing, we could maybe go into how it has helped grow our business, and now we're full-time, we could go into that more on the next episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so we'll take a question from here.
So just do like a fun question.
Okay, so what has been your proudest moment as a nail tech so far? Should we do that?
Oh, that's a hard one. Do you have an answer?
Either that one, or we could do, there's what's your dream for the future?
Oh, yeah, let's do that one.
That's a fun one. Let's do that one.
Because I feel like proudest moment, I do have quite a few proud moments.
Yeah.
And I like pinpointing one is like a bit hard.
Yeah. Do that one then. So what's your dream for the future?
My dream for the future. Oh.
I think you've got your dream planned out, haven't you?
So I really want to move away from working with clients. I know that I've not been doing this for very long.
Yeah. No.
But
you're gonna have it set up, aren't you?
Yeah. I just want to, I'm very much the type of person that's got to keep things interesting, and I've always got to have like a new thing to focus on.
Yeah.
So like right now my clients are my business. Like that's how I make money. That's how I live my life. But I want to move it over to social media.
Yeah.
That is my dream. I'd like to starting up a membership.
Slay.
Shout out.
Slay.
It's in the works. Won't be done for a little while yet.
It sounds incredible.
Yeah, it'll be a community for nail techs. So that's hopefully going to turn into the majority of my income.
Yeah.
Me and Harvey really want to move to Scotland.
Oh, the dream. We all want to move to Scotland. Yeah. To be fair, like for those of you who aren't aware anyway, like we're about 2 hours away from each other, an hour and a half-ish. So like we're not overly close. It's not like you're down the road and you're moving to Scotland. Like,
no.
You know,
it's all
it's all still gonna be fine. But
yeah.
It's just a dream, isn't it, Scotland?
Yes, yeah. We want to move. We've always wanted to move to Scotland, but I think that dream is starting to like become a bit more like in focus. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit closer than it ever has been. So, not to say that we're close by any means. It'll be a couple of years yet, but moving to Scotland will mean obviously leaving all my clients.
Yeah.
So by then I would like to be at a point where the majority of my income comes from social media, whether it be this podcast, you never know, you know, my membership or TikTok. I do make a bit of money on TikTok already, but I just want to grow that side of things and sort of slowly move away from clients. Not completely. I always want to have clients in my chair, but maybe just go down to like 2 days a week.
Yeah, like part-time.
Yeah, which I think would be lovely. I think it would be the right balance.
Yeah.
So then obviously when it comes to actually moving to Scotland, I don't have too much pressure on
the client side of things, because you know you're getting an income from the social media stuff, like whatever it ends up happening. Yeah.
And the thought of starting to build a client base again is petrifying.
Oh my god, could you imagine? Like that was actually one of the questions. I think it was like if you went back in time, would you start this career again? And I'm like, my memory would have to be wiped, because if I knew I had to start all this again, it's just a lot of pressure and a lot of stress.
Yeah, it is a hell of a lot. So yeah, that's the dream. Be a bit more social media based, move away from doing clients, as much as I love my clients. If any of you are listening, I love you.
She loves you.
But,
she does.
This isn't, it's not sitting in front of clients like a freaking shrimp every day.
Like when I see on TikTok and I hear these nail techs that are doing like 12 clients a day, it's like, I love that. For even like 9, I saw one the other day that was 9. Don't get me wrong, I love that for that. Like if they want to do that and they have the energy for that, get that money in.
Yeah.
But I could not. Never.
No, I
5 is enough for me.
Yeah, definitely.
1000%.
Enough. Yeah, like my perfect day is, I would say 4.
Yeah, 4 is beautiful.
Yeah.
4's beautiful.
Yeah. But I've done up to 7, but that was like my busy Christmas.
Yeah, I've done around 7, and they might not all be nail art.
No,
might be just
definitely
like a
not.
plain infill.
I could not do 7 clients of nail art. Absolutely not.
If I knew every single day I had 7 clients 5 days a week, it's just too much.
It is too much. You'd be making a killing.
Oh, God. But to me, it wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be worth it. The money would not be worth how I would feel in myself and how drained. So for 2 days a week, great, I can go do all this stuff. But guess what? You got another 5 days of 7 clients a day. No, I'm good. Thanks, I am good.
So what's your dream?
I think
Tell us your dream,
my
Shan.
dream isn't as planned as yours. I think because this has all been just a crazy journey anyway, like to get to here. And like I say, the fact that I'm doing all this, what feels like I feel like I've honestly only been doing it a year. I think when you go from part-time to a full-time nail technician, you understand what you mean by that, because part-time nail technician, again, I was doing maybe 2 clients a day, like 1 evening a week. That's not like being full-time. So going from part-time to this is literally like, oh my God, like it feels like I've started fresh. So to have all of this,
I can imagine it's a very different, it's like 2 different careers.
It's so different, because like I don't think I even mentioned that at nursery I was doing 3 days a week, and it got to the point where at nails I was doing 3 days a week and I had 1 day off.
Oh wow.
So it was,
so I did really that. Working hard to get to that point.
Yeah, but I knew that I needed to work hard for, I said to Oliver, I remember I said I need to work hard for a short amount of time, so then it comes quicker, rather than working mediocre for longer. Like I knew I wanted to just get out of the nursery and I wanted to do nails, so I was like, I'm just gonna do it anyway. That's
such a good way to put it, though.
And that's what I think a lot of people don't realise, is you are gonna have to work a lot, but you need to. But so the future for me is very, I know what way I want to go, I just don't know the exact direction yet. So I think what I've done now, where I've recently changed my working hours, I don't do as many long days. I do maybe 3 half days and 2 full days, which are longer days. And my dream, probably my short dream, is to be fully booked, which I'm pretty much nearly there. Fully booked, so I have the same clients coming and I've got my books that are available full, but I also do my workshops, which are my hour Zoom calls, and then my full day workshops, and these are really busy actually. Like I'm actually very surprised at how much interest and how many bookings I've had, and the way it's going at the minute is where like I may not have a full week of clients because 2 of those days are workshops. So it's like a little bit of my workshops, a little bit of clients, and a little bit of social media, and that's kind of my sweet spot right now. And I think obviously with adding this podcast on and seeing what's to come in the future, it's like trying, I think the dream would be, like you say, I do eventually want to be a mum, so the dream would be to maybe do 3 or 2 days of clients and then a little bit social media, podcast, workshops, that kind of vibe. But I always knew the reason I wanted to start this career and have this career is so when I decide to have a family, I can be a very present parent. That's probably the dream. But when I'm like 50, I don't want to be doing nails. I prefer it to be more like I'm either teaching someone else, or I'm doing my workshops, or I've got a little salon like we described earlier, something like that. But the future isn't overly clear for me yet, but I feel like I've got plenty of time to figure it out.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No. Do you feel like you are living the dream of past Shan?
Yeah. Now, if you'd have asked me last year, I'd have said it's too much. But now, right now I would say like I really feel like, especially in the last month, like with you saying how you've noticed a bit of a difference, like mental health side, I feel like now I am with finding the work-life balance.
Yes.
Because I just don't think I realised that I could put down my hours. But yeah, if I said this the other day, like if I could go back and do a day at the nursery and put myself back in my old life, sometimes think you need a reality check of what you've done. Because honestly, like even just doing this is absolutely blowing my mind, because I genuinely thought, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I honestly did think I would just be at that nursery forever.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought at 50 years old I'll still be doing the same career, and oh my God.
I thought I'd be unemployed forever.
Just sat with your dogs and your cats.
Technically I am still unemployed. No one employs me.
Yeah.
I employ myself.
Yes, we're self-employed, but it is. I'm defo living. I think sometimes we've got to take that step back and realise what we've done, because it's so like you're constantly raising the bar.
Yes, I feel like if I take a second to reflect on it, I'm like, I'm living my dream.
Yeah,
this is the life. Like, how much better can it get?
I know. Like this week, what I have coming with clients and like workshops and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, as if this is my life and I'm getting money from it. Like it's crazy, but
we should probably wrap up.
I was going to say, I feel like we've kind of said...
We have been talking for a long time.
Yeah, we have got a few bits that, we'll probably cut out to make it a little bit shorter. But I feel like we've kind of covered everything. But like we say, the next couple of episodes, it's literally just getting into it. And this is what these next couple of episodes are going to be. Explaining our stories, probably getting our word vomit out. Yes. And then the episodes are going to be, okay, let's talk about building a brand, and let's talk about social media and how you can get money. It's going to be a lot more
focused.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, like this episode I know is really long. It's probably going to be, we probably won't even get it less than an hour 30, but this isn't going to be what every episode will be like. No. We'll hone it in, aim for like
Condense.
an hour 15.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are still listening,
well
good
done.
job. You deserve 10 points.
Yeah, definitely. Put a pink love heart emoji on one of our Instagram posts if you've got this long, because my God.
It's been a long one.
Needed.
Probably needed about 3 brews to get through this one.
I know, literally. So. I think I'm going to make myself another brew after this in my Nail Tech Natters mug. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed the episode.
Yes, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully we explained our stories well enough.
And yeah, I feel like I went round hours as defo, but it's neat. I feel like that's what this is for. TikTok is for the more condensed stories, and this is more, we're going to go into the realities of it, and the realities of actually becoming a nail technician. Because everyone has life getting in the way.
Definitely.
Life.
Yeah, so we will see you next week, next Friday, hopefully. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok,
YouTube. If you want to watch us do the podcasts.
Yeah, we have lots of angles.
There's like 3 going on here.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll catch you next week. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.